I want you to imagine a scenario that terrifies almost everyone over the age of 60. You are fast asleep, warm and comfortable in your bed. You are dreaming peacefully. Suddenly, without any warning, you are jolted awake by a sensation that feels like a gunshot wound to your leg. A muscle in your calf, or perhaps your foot or hamstring, has seized up. It has turned into a rock-hard, knotted ball of agony. You gasp. You try to move your leg, but it is locked. You try to massage it, but it is tender to the touch. You might even try to stand up and walk it off, hopping around your bedroom in the dark, grimacing in pain, praying for the muscle to release. The pain is so intense that it leaves you sweating and your heart racing. You are having a nocturnal leg cramp, a Charlie horse. And in that moment of crisis, you feel helpless. You have been told to eat a banana. You have been told to drink water. But here is the problem: a banana takes 45 minutes to digest. Water takes 20 minutes to hydrate your cells. You are in pain now. You need a solution that works in seconds, not minutes. I am here to give you that solution. It is going to sound strange. It is going to sound like something you would put on a hot dog, not in your body as medicine. But I am telling you, based on the practices of elite athletes and emerging neurological science, that the answer to your pain is sitting in your refrigerator door right now. It is a bright yellow bottle. It is mustard. Specifically, plain, cheap, yellow mustard. Taking 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon of mustard the moment a cramp strikes can release the muscle almost instantly, often within 60 seconds. It is not magic, it is a neurological hack. It is a way to trick your brain into turning off the cramp. Today, we are going to explore the fascinating science behind this remedy. We are going to explain why it has nothing to do with potassium and everything to do with nerve shock. We are going to look at why professional football players keep mustard packets in their socks. And I am going to teach you how to prepare a cramp rescue kit for your nightstand so you never have to hop around in pain again. By the end of this video, you will look at that yellow condiment not as a topping, but as a lifesaver. To understand why mustard works, we first have to understand what a cramp actually is. For a long time, doctors told us that cramps were caused by dehydration or a lack of electrolytes like potassium, calcium, or magnesium. And while long-term deficiencies in these minerals can certainly make you more prone to cramping, that doesn't explain why the cramp happens suddenly at 3 a.m. when you haven't moved. New research suggests that the sudden, acute cramp is actually a neurological failure. It is a glitch in the software, not the hardware. Your muscles are controlled by nerves. Specifically, alpha motor neurons. These nerves send electrical signals from your spinal cord to your muscle fibers, telling them to contract or relax. In a healthy body, there is a feedback loop. The muscle tells the spine, "I am contracted," and the spine says, "Okay, you can relax now." But as we age, our nerves begin to degrade slightly. The insulation wears thin. The signals get crossed. Sometimes, the nerve gets stuck in the on position. It starts firing rapidly, uncontrollably, screaming at the muscle to contract, contract, contract. The muscle obeys. It squeezes so hard it cuts off its own blood supply. That is the pain you feel. It is a seizure of the muscle. So, how do we stop a nerve that is misfiring? We have to shock the system. We have to create a distraction so powerful that the spinal cord resets itself. This is where the mustard comes in. It is not about the nutrition in the mustard, it is about the taste. Yellow mustard contains 2 very potent compounds, acetic acid, which is vinegar, and mustard oil, which contains isothiocyanates from the turmeric and mustard seeds. When you put a spoonful of strong, tangy, sour mustard in your mouth, it creates an intense sensory explosion. It stimulates specific sensors in your mouth, throat, and esophagus called TRP channels, transient receptor potential channels. These sensors are designed to detect strong chemical stimuli, heat, acidity, pungency. When these sensors are triggered by the sharp taste of the vinegar and the mustard, they send a lightning-fast signal to the brainstem. This signal is so strong that it overrides the chaotic signal causing the cramp. It basically overloads the circuit. The brain gets the message, strong stimulus in the throat, and in response, it sends a generalized, calm down, signal to the entire nervous system. This creates an inhibitory effect on the alpha motor neurons in your spinal cord. The nerve that was screaming at your leg suddenly goes quiet. The muscle relaxes. The knot dissolves. This mechanism is called neuromuscular distraction, or sensory stimulation. It explains why the relief is almost instantaneous. If it were about the potassium in the mustard, it would take 30 minutes to digest and enter your blood. But because it works via the nerves in your mouth and throat, it works as fast as a nerve impulse. It is faster than a pill. It is faster than massage. It is the speed of electricity. This is why you see NFL players and marathon runners tearing open mustard packets on the sidelines. They don't have time to wait for a banana. They need their legs to work now. If it works for a 250-pound linebacker in the fourth quarter of a game, I promise you it will work for you in your bedroom. Now, let's talk about the specific ingredients, because mustard is actually a 2-for-1 remedy. First, the vinegar. Vinegar is acetic acid. Acetic acid is the primary trigger for those TRP channels I mentioned. But vinegar also has another role. It helps the body produce acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter that helps muscles function correctly. So, you are giving your nerves the raw material they need to regulate themselves. Some people drink pickle juice for cramps, which also works because of the vinegar. But mustard is more concentrated, easier to swallow, and easier to keep by the bed than a jar of pickles. Second, the turmeric. Yellow mustard gets its bright neon color from turmeric. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories on the planet. While the curcumin won't stop the cramp instantly, it helps with the aftermath. After a severe cramp, the muscle is often sore for days. It feels bruised. The turmeric helps reduce that inflammation and soreness, helping you recover faster. So, the vinegar stops the pain, and the turmeric heals the damage. Let's discuss the protocol. How do you do this? You don't want to be running to the kitchen in the dark while your leg is seizing. You need to be prepared. Go to the grocery store. Buy a bottle of basic yellow mustard. You don't need the fancy Dijon or the grainy spicy brown mustard. Those are delicious, but for this purpose, we want the high vinegar, high turmeric yellow stuff. It is usually the cheapest one on the shelf. You have two options for storage. You can keep the bottle in the fridge and run for it, risky. Or, you can buy single-serving packets. You know, the little plastic sachets you get at fast food restaurants or ballparks. You can buy a box of 100 of them online or at a restaurant supply store for a few dollars. Put 3 or 4 packets on your nightstand. Keep them in a little bowl next to your glasses. When the cramp wakes you up, grab a packet. Tear the top off with your teeth or your hands. Squeeze the entire packet into your mouth. Now, here is the trick, do not swallow it immediately. Swish it around your mouth for about 5 or 10 seconds. Let it hit the back of your throat. You want to maximize that shock to the sensors. You want to taste the sourness. Then, swallow it. Within seconds, you should feel the muscles start to unclench. It is a bizarre feeling. It just lets go. The relief is washing over you. You can lay back down. You can go back to sleep. I know what some of you are thinking. I hate mustard. I can't stand the taste. I hear you. It is a strong flavor. But I want you to weigh the taste of 1 spoon of mustard against the agony of a leg cramp that lasts for 10 minutes. The pain of a cramp is a 9 or 10 on the pain scale. The taste of mustard is a minor inconvenience. In the moment of crisis, you won't care about the taste. You will care about the relief. And if you really can't stand it, have a glass of water ready to wash it down immediately after the swish. The effect comes from the contact with the throat, not the digestion, so washing it down is fine once you've held it for a few seconds. Let's address the sodium scare. Mustard has salt in it. Vinegar has sodium. If you have high blood pressure, you have been trained to fear salt. You might be worried that taking a spoonful of mustard will spike your pressure. Let's look at the numbers. A teaspoon of mustard has about 50 to 60 milligrams of sodium. That is a tiny amount. A slice of bread has 150 milligrams. A bowl of soup has 1000. Taking 60 milligrams of sodium to stop a medical emergency is not going to ruin your heart diet. In fact, the intense pain of the cramp raises your blood pressure far more than the mustard ever could. Pain causes a cortisol and adrenaline spike that stresses your heart. Stopping the pain quickly is actually the heart-healthy choice in that specific moment. Obviously, don't eat the whole bottle. But 1 teaspoon is safe for almost everyone. There is another preventative aspect to this. Some people find that taking a teaspoon of mustard before bed prevents the cramps from happening at all. This is anecdotal, but many seniors swear by it. If you have cramps every single night, try it. Take a small spoonful before you brush your teeth. The acetic acid might keep your nerves calm throughout the night. It acts like a prophylactic. I want to talk about hydration again, because while mustard is the emergency brake, we still want to prevent the car from speeding. You must stay hydrated. As we age, our thirst mechanism fades. We don't feel thirsty even when we are dry. Dehydrated nerves are irritable nerves. They misfire. Make sure you are drinking water throughout the day. And consider electrolytes. Not sugary sports drinks, but simple minerals. Magnesium is the big one. Magnesium helps muscles relax. If mustard is the emergency fix, magnesium is the long-term maintenance. Taking a magnesium supplement, like magnesium glycinate, in the evening can lower the frequency of cramps. But keep the mustard for when the magnesium isn't enough. Let's differentiate between a cramp and restless leg syndrome, RLS. They are different. A cramp is a hard, locked muscle. It hurts intensely. It pulls your toes. RLS is a creepy crawly feeling. It feels like ants are inside your legs. It makes you want to move, but it is not a rigid lock. Mustard works for the cramp. It works for the seizure. It might not help RLS, which is a dopamine issue. But for that sudden, rock-hard knot, mustard is king. There is a psychological benefit to having the mustard by the bed. It is called safety. Many seniors develop a fear of sleep. They are afraid to go to bed because they dread the pain. They know it is coming. This anxiety makes their muscles tense, which actually makes cramping more likely. By having the mustard packets right there, within arm's reach, you reduce the anxiety. You know you have a weapon. You know you can stop the pain in seconds. This peace of mind allows you to sleep deeper and more relaxed, which in itself prevents cramps. Let's talk about the pickle juice alternative. You might have heard of athletes drinking pickle juice. It works on the exact same principle. It is vinegar and salt. It triggers the same sensors. If you love pickles and hate mustard, you can keep a small jar of pickle juice by the bed. But liquid is harder to manage in the dark. It can spill. You have to sit up to drink it. A mustard packet is non-spill, easy to handle, and concentrated. That is why I prefer the mustard recommendation for the bedroom environment. It is logistically superior. I want to share a story of a patient, let's call him David. David is 75. He plays pickleball. But every night, he would wake up screaming. His wife was terrified. He tried bananas, he tried stretching, he tried tonic water, which used to contain quinine, but not enough anymore to help. Nothing worked. He was exhausted. I told him about the mustard. He laughed. He thought I was joking. But he was desperate. He put a bottle of French's mustard on his nightstand. 2 nights later, the cramp hit. He grabbed the bottle, squirted a bit on his finger, and put it in his mouth. He told me later, it was like flipping a switch. The pain just stopped. Now, David carries packets in his pocket when he plays pickleball. He feels invincible. This is not a pharmaceutical drug. It has no side effects, unless you are allergic to mustard seeds, which is rare. It doesn't interact with your blood thinners or your heart pills. It is food. It is safe. It is cheap. Let's review the Cramp Rescue Plan. Preparation: buy the yellow mustard. Packets are best. Keep them within reach of your pillow. The event: you wake up in pain. Do not panic. Do not jump out of bed and risk a fall in the dark. The action: reach for the packet. Open it. The dose: squeeze it onto your tongue. 1 teaspoon is enough. The technique: hold it. Taste the sour burn. Swish it. The release: swallow. Breathe. Feel the muscle relax. Gently stretch your leg out. The aftermath: go back to sleep. Why haven't you heard this from your doctor? Because doctors are trained to prescribe pills. There is no prescription for mustard. There is no patent on it. It is a home remedy, but it is one of the few home remedies that has been validated by rigorous sports science. In 2010, researchers specifically studied pickle juice, same mechanism, and found it relieved cramps 45% faster than no treatment. The science is real. I also want to mention that this works for hand cramps too. If your hands cramp up while you are knitting, writing, or holding the steering wheel, the mechanism is the same. Pop a little mustard. It resets the global nervous system. It calms the hands just as well as the legs. We often think that as we age, we have to accept pain. We think, well, cramps are just part of getting older. No. They are not. They are a malfunction that can be managed. You do not have to suffer through 10 minutes of agony every night. You do not have to wake up sore and limping. Take control of your nights. Reclaim your sleep. It is amazing that something as simple as a condiment can change your quality of life, but sometimes the simplest answers are the best ones. Nature gave us these strong flavors for a reason. They wake up our system. They reboot our computer. So, next time you are at the store, don't walk past the condiment aisle. Grab that yellow bottle. It is the cheapest insurance policy you will ever buy. Put it next to your bed. And sleep soundly knowing that you have the cure right there, ready to work in seconds. Thank you for listening. I hope this tip brings you relief. Share it with your friends, you might save them from a lot of midnight misery. Stay hydrated, stay prepared, and keep that mustard handy.